Hello, my name's Andy Turvey. I've been dubbing cartoon series into English for about 20 years, including things like Lunar Jim, Bubble Guppies and PAW Patrol. If you live in Britain, you've probably heard me ask you to take your change, especially notes. You're currently watching In Conversation with ATF. To continue, please scan your Tesco club card. Club card accepted.
Hi guys, Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guest today is a voice actor based in Cheltenham. You may know him from cartoons, UK dubs, which I grew up with personally. So this is like my childhood. You might have heard him in shows like Lunar Jim, he voiced Ted. Paw Patrol, he voiced Cap'n Turbot. He was in Little People, Super Why, Wow Wow Wubsy, Puppy in My Pocket, Bubble Guppies, Team Zoomy, Rusty Rivets, or Carpoli. All these are the British dubs, by the way. So people in America or abroad might not have heard Andy's interpretations of the characters that he played. I'm looking at CV now. He was in The Adventures of Dawdle the Donkey, which I
Yes, that
didn't
was
know.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that the one with David Jason in it?
David Jason and Josie Lawrence.
Josie
And
Lawrence, yeah,
the
that's it.
theme was written by Krista Berg. I was the only person in the whole show no one had heard of.
Really?
Yeah, it was written by the lady who wrote The Wombles.
Elizabeth Beresford.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was the only one no one had heard of in that. It was a really good, lovely show to do. Very, very sweet. Very sweet.
Wow, that is so cool. Or if you don't watch cartoons, then maybe you might recognize my guest's voice. Maybe when you're doing a bit of shopping at the supermarket. Yes. Do you still do the voice or have they
No,
changed
I
it?
think they've changed it now. I did it for 7 years. So people will be pretty fed up with my voice, really.
Oh, yeah. So you were the voice of the Tesco checkouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is crazy to think.
Don't forget your change, especially the notes. That was me.
Oh, who's my guest? My guest is Andy Turvey. Welcome. Hi.
Hello, nice to be here.
Wonderful to have you on my show. Well, first of all, can I just say, I know you said before that you did mainly dubs of shows and stuff like that, but of course, like American audiences might not have heard your
Yeah.
interpretations of your respective characters. Oh yeah, that's another one I forgot to mention. You were Spiderus in the UK dub of Miss Spider.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Lynn Kleckner was my wife in that in that show.
Oh,
I
oh
was
wow.
the evil Spiderus. That was right.
Yeah, in the US version, it was by a man called Tony J, who was a very famous voice
Very
actor.
famous. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're taking on like a big role there. Um, so what's it like to sort of this is my first question to you. To do these dubbing shows, do you listen to the original character's voice and you try to sound like them, or do you ask to put your own spin on
I
the character?
tried to put my own spin on them a bit because I and see how it goes. I mean, I do a few voices at the audition, and they say like that one or don't like that one. So I try to do my own version of them, and it has to be an English dub. But yeah, and it's not always identical. It's not just the English version of the American. It is a bit of a different spin on it. So
Yeah.
I did in Paw Patrol, I did Mr.
Captain
Porter, the
Turbot.
shop owner, as well. And in the
Yeah.
American version, he's got a very thin voice, a very light, very higher pitched, thinner voice. But he looks to me, he's got quite a portly sort of appearance. So I gave him a sort of a much more rounded, deeper voice, just to make it.
Yeah. So you're doing all these shows for Nick Jr. and stuff like that. Have you got anything for Nick Jr. in the pipeline? If you
Uh,
can say, if it's not protected by
no,
an
nothing
NDA.
at the moment. No, we're doing another series of Paw Patrol at the moment. That'll be
Oh,
series 10.
wow.
Um, I know, which is really, really long for a children's cartoon. It's very, very long. There's rumors of another film, but I'm not sure about that. But we're doing the TV series anyway.
You're doing a second film. You were in the first film, if I remember
Yes, I was.
correctly.
Yeah, I only briefly blink and you miss it, but I was there. Yeah, which was great to do as well because we had to go down to Molinaire Studios in Soho, which are enormous, beautiful studios down there, and it was the big time. It was really was. It was very good, great
Wow,
experience for me.
that's cool. And I presume this was just for the UK dub, which was shown in UK cinemas, I
Yes, yeah,
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how it works because the dub's shown on screen in British cinemas, but when it comes to home media releases, it's the original US dub, and like it's just
Yeah, it's very strange, isn't it? I think the reason why they wanted it dubbed into English was because they had a lot of sort of feelings that if it was all American, British children would end up with American accents. So they wanted to sort of get it back into the English, and we remove words like trash and guy and things like that. Americanisms we replace.
yeah.
Captain Turbot in Paw Patrol. Captain Turbot looks out to sea and says, "Look, there's a buoy," which is the Canadian way of saying a boy floating in the water. So we have to
Is it
change buoy to boy every time and things like that.
a buoy? I've never heard it say that
No.
way before, and I know a few Canadian people.
Oh right. Well, that's how they pronounced it in the in the American. Yes. I was a bit
Yeah.
surprised. Didn't know quite what it was the first time I heard it, but it's a boy.
It is very interesting, honestly. Yeah. And I see you've done that because I'm just like looking, your CV is like the screen's here, Zoom
Oh,
is, and then your CV is just underneath. So I'm just like looking at it and just thinking, oh, you did that. Oh, you did that. Oh, yeah, I remember you from that. And there is one thing I do remember you from that I did grow up with, which is also a Canadian show. Lunar Jim, you were the voice of Ted.
yes, that's right. Yeah, that was a nice little show as well. I liked Ted. There was a lot of me in Ted. He was a bit bumbling and things always went wrong for him. That's me.
Yeah. So with this, like other dubbing stuff, did you record by yourself or did you record as a whole cast?
No, it's 99% is just on your own. So you don't meet other people at all. You go in, you meet the director, you go into the booth on your own. The pictures come up on a little screen in front of you. You've got the script, and it's done so quickly. I mean, a lot of the animations we do, the first time I ever see the line that I'm going to read
Mhm.
is when I read it, and that's usually the take that gets done, that gets used.
Yeah.
It's that quick. You just literally, it's on a little iPad in front of us. We scroll through the script, you see your name come up, you read the line for the first time ever in your life, and that's usually, unless we mess it up, but that's usually the take.
And then you're done. Thank you. Bye. And
And
then
there
you
you
start
go.
the
Off
dub.
you go, man.
Wow.
Off you go.
Oh my gosh. So all the recording sessions that I've done, they've not been for anything sort of professional based. I mean, the theme park ride is professional, but for that, I had to make like a makeshift studio under the stairs, and I connected through Zoom with the
Oh, right.
voice
Yeah.
directors. And that's sometimes I think on one or two sessions I would record with another cast member who was in obviously the scene that I would be in. Well, scene I say like part of the ride that was, being the dialogue was being recorded
Hmm.
for, and they would get the script up and I'd do all like different voices for it, and then I'd have to thing it on Audacity and send them the files, and then they get remastered and stuff like that. So that's going to a place in California, I believe.
All right.
So yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
what park it's going to yet. I don't think I'm going to find out until the end of this year. So
You'll
it's
have to
really
go
just
out and try every park until you find it.
they are actually doing a an unveiling party
Oh, are
next
they?
spring,
You've
so
got to go.
we've all been invited. Yeah, my
Yes, yeah.
passport's literally being printed as we speak, being sent to me. So finally gonna get to America and see my voice. Have you done anything voiceover related for any American products or American shows?
Um, no, I don't think so. No. No, I don't think so. It's all been
Hmm.
English stuff. Although
Ah.
I do tend to forget these things. You pointed one out to me today that I'd done and I'd forgotten all about.
Oh yeah, that thing. So for those of you at home who don't know, so there was this little featurette that was on the UK version of the Garfield 2 DVD, that live action remake with Bill Murray as Garfield that no one probably remembers. So it was like on the town with Garfield, and it had a narrator describing all these sights that Garfield and Odie were seeing. And the narrator was Andy. And
Forgotten all
like
about it.
I know, because like I've heard it over the years, and I thought, okay, that voice sounds really familiar. I need to find out who it was. And then I think one day I was watching Bubble Guppies as a kid, and I heard Mr. Grouper's UK voice. I was like, that can't be. That's him. I'm like, so I'm trying to search up, and then just like very recently, I was like, okay, I finally pinned it all together. That's Andy Turvey's voice, and you're just thinking, wow, because
Yeah.
it sounds so familiar. It was just playing on my mind for years, and I've finally found out it's you. So, wow.
Talking of bubble guppies, does it ever annoy you that they're underwater. All the bubble guppies are all fish. So they're underwater, and then they decide to go swimming in a swimming pool. But they're underwater. Or it starts to rain, so they put umbrellas up. They're underwater. It's a definite plot flaw there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's proper weird. And like maybe if they went camping and they had like a little campfire.
Yeah, they're
How does that
underwater.
how,
Yes,
how does that work? How does that work?
How's that work? How does explain to me?
Logic. Yeah, I have to delve into Bubble Guppies lore probably.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so got me thinking now. Yeah, what's the sort of science behind that then? Oh my gosh. So yeah, for the US version of Bubble Guppies, Mr. Creeper was originally voiced by a guy called Tino Insana. I do apologize for pronounce his name incorrectly. He was then replaced by Fred Tatasciore after he passed away. And in the UK version, we had Andy Turvey. So that's where,
yeah.
it kind of fits in. And like when I hear your voice, I always associate it with Mr. Grouper. I can't associate it with anyone else.
I think I got that part purely because I have the same attention span as a goldfish. That's mainly the reason.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. So I presume you recorded solo for that show because I know
Yes, yeah, we all went in, just recorded our own little lines. You literally just do your lines and then go. You don't. I never get to see the whole program until it goes out on air. I've never. I don't. You just see your scenes and that's it.
Yeah, and it's just really sad because it's happening a lot more these days, even with stuff that is like group record, not dubbed, original animation. You just go in, record your lines, you go out, you might see another actor passing it in the lobby or something, but that's it. You don't record as much as you do anymore, like together.
There was a show a few years ago I did called Loggerheads, and there we did an ensemble piece. We all went in together and did it like a play. But I think it's more difficult for the engineers because if one person makes a slight slip, it's harder to edit that back in. If you're all standing together, if you just do it on your own, they can just take the best take and pop that in sequence. But if you are all together and one person fluffs it, it's more hard to recapture the mood again. So I think that's why it's done singly. But it's good fun doing it like a radio play, but and recorded for a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of voice actors used to do it like back in the 90s and stuff. Like for a lot of the Warner Brothers cartoons, like Batman the Animated Series, voice director Andrea Romano would have the whole cast record together. So you'd have like Kevin Conroy as Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker. You'd have all these A-list actors working together and stuff like that on like the lot in Burbank. So it was really just like a massive, as you said, like a radio play sort of. And then you see the finished product on TV, you're just thinking, wow.
Yes, you do.
We did that. We did. Is that what we said? Loggerheads. I actually don't remember Loggerheads.
It was a Viking comedy program. It was going back a few years now. It must have been late 90s. I was Bjorn, the leader of the Vikings, who had a voice like this. All right, let's go pillaging. And then there was lots of other characters. It was satirical as well as being a comedy program for kids. It had a lot of a level for adults as well.
Yeah,
but I think it's on YouTube. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think because I did look at your little animation reel and they did show a little bit of Loggerheads in that. Yes, so I did watch it and that was really good. Yeah, it's got stellar cast as well. I mean, David Holt, who I've had on my channel.
Have you? Oh, right. Yeah, I know David.
Yeah. He was the first British VA I've probably interviewed. I probably have interviewed a few more since him, maybe. I don't know, but
he's very, very busy. He's working all the time, David, isn't he? Absolutely.
I know he's in everything. Like I go around to my sister's house and my nephew's probably watching something on BBC and his voice is in it and stuff. He's just in everything. It's crazy.
And I mean, the peak of his career, he had a small part in The Archers on Radio 4.
Really?
Yes. I'd kill to do that.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I don't know why I didn't talk to him about that. I don't think I did. I don't think I knew at the time. I was mainly just focusing on like his cartoon career. Like who else there? Jo Roots. We were just talking about her before the podcast. Susan Sheridan.
She was my son in Loggerheads.
Yeah, I'm having a look. I'm having a look at the thing. Yeah, and like we lost her so soon as well. Yeah, she only passed away about 10 years ago.
She was such a lovely person, Susan. Really, really lovely.
Yeah, so it's like I'm gonna obviously ask you like how you worked with people and what you thought of them, or what was it like working with them. And yes, Susan was one of them because I know she did a lot of UK dubs of stuff like that and
And she
kids
did
shows and stuff.
training as well, vocal training as well.
Oh,
I
did
think
she?
she worked at Pinewood, sort of accent training for different actors. But she was a lovely person, very nice.
Wow, and she was in a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as well. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, she had a really good career, bless her.
Mm,
And Jimmy Hibbert as well, who was in the cast of Loggerheads. I'm not sure
yes.
if you him.
Yeah, they were all there.
Yeah, yeah. That's really cool though. Just like I know the British VA pool is very small. Because like if I think of like big British VAs, like there's you five who are in Loggerheads, then you've got people like Teresa Gallagher, Lizzie Waterworth, Emma Tate, Rob Rackstraw, Wayne Forrester, a few other people who I can think of. And like it's not like the US pool, which is like huge. You've got like
Humongous, yeah.
big VAs, yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, like
Thousands.
I compare like the biggest ones, like you and David would be on the same ranks as Frank Welker because you've been in so much. I've heard you
Oh
so
no,
many times.
praise indeed.
So,
I might not quite be up that in that league.
oh, well, in my eyes. So I'm trying to think. My head just went really blank then. I'm
That's
trying
okay.
to think.
Mine's like that
Uh,
all the time.
um, I was gonna say where do you record stuff, but then I realized you have a studio
Well,
yourself.
but usually
So
I have to go to another studio, not for that far away to record to picture. So they show the
oh
pictures
right.
in front of me there. So I have to go to it's another studio for that. But we've done a bit of recording here for dubbing other productions. So they send the films to me, and then actresses come in and we dub to picture. There's a couple of cartoons we've done. I've done a few episodes of the new Pinocchio for BBC. We did that
Oh
was
yeah,
I dubbed
Pinocchio
that
and
here.
Friends.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
nice. And we do, as I say, one character for Peppa Pig. We do here. So it's just a matter of. I quite enjoy that side of it actually, the engineering side, and it's quite very satisfying when you get a voice in and the pictures are on the screen and you can match that voice up exactly with the pictures. That's quite a rewarding little job.
Yeah. Have you ever considered voice direction or being a voice director?
Yes, I think I do it quite well because I've been directed for so long. I know what actors like and what they don't like, what annoys you and what you like, the approach you like. So I think I'd be quite good at it. I do enjoy the bits we do here.
Wow. I was gonna say if I ever need like to record a project or something like in a professional studio, I'll definitely have
Come
to
over
come
to
down.
Cheltenham. Yes.
Definitely. I do owe someone a trip to Cheltenham because I do know someone from a company, the ride company we were talking about before.
Yeah.
She lives down here. Well, not down, down there in Cheltenham. I have to come down and see her because, I've
Yeah,
been
pop in.
meaning to visit. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to record something there. My head's gone blank again. I'm so
Right.
sorry. I don't know why. It just you just talk about something and then just it
Yeah.
goes blank. That's what happens with me, well, that's what makes my show essentially, because like I think about something and then suddenly like my head goes blank, and then you're thinking, what do I talk about next?
You're having a
And I've
Mr. Grouper moment, aren't you?
yeah,
Mr.
goldfish moment.
Yeah, goldfish moment. It's gone.
Yeah, but I don't know
Where
what I'm
was I?
thinking. It's just like a blank white room. um, oh yeah, that just remembered. Because I've just quickly gone back to your CV, and it's these obscure cartoons that you've done
Yeah,
that I can't find
I
anything
know.
about.
There's a lot that I've looked at on YouTube, and some of the cartoons I've done, there's no mention of them anywhere. I did a
Exactly.
really, really sweet cartoon called April and Friends. It was about a girl who had all these pet teddy bears, and it was such a sweet program. No sign of it anywhere. And there's
Wow.
loads like that. There's loads like that. Fracas, The Adventures of Fracas, was another one. You can't find it anywhere.
What
But
channel was April and Friends made for?
I've no idea. It was a few years ago now.
Mm.
I've Googled it. I've looked on YouTube. Gone completely, but it was so sweet, beautifully drawn, lovely stories. Gone. I don't know. It's the
Crazy.
way it is, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. And there's other cartoons that you've done that I grew up with, which unfortunately I can't find any mention of it on the internet. Some of them include Wow Wow Wubsy. Well, I mean, someone did upload a ton of the episodes on the internet, but I can't find them now. But
Yes,
I do
I think
remember.
they had some a stellar cast in that as well because I think they had Beyonce in Wow Wow Wubsy
Yeah, she
as a
was one of
guest star.
the Wub girls. Yeah.
Yes, I was her manager in one episode. I mean, she
Wow.
obviously recorded in Hollywood. I recorded it in Gloucester. But, apart from that, we were working together.
Well,
Me and
she
Beyonce like that.
Well, she most likely did her lines like by herself, not with the rest of the cast. Because I know they did group records at Salami Studios in Los Angeles. So,
Oh, did
like, I
they?
know Grey Delisle here was the US voice of Wubsy instead
Oh,
of
right.
Janet James, and a few others. And I know, I'm trying to think who's there was someone else. Some Carlos Alazraki was the US voice of Walden. Tara Strong was the US voice of Daisy.
Oh,
Lynn
right.
Kleckner, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe that Lynn was in that show. I'm trying to think who else was there. So for the UK version, there was you, there was Janet James, Julianne Dean,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wayne Forrester, Lynn
Oh, that's right.
Kleckner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I remember because I remember like the voices like in my head, and then I'm just thinking, no, that can't have been them. And I did watch a clip, and I was like, oh my gosh, it is them. And I was just gobsmacked. Who was the actress who played the US version? Laura Jill Miller. It's because it's like a sort of like three-piece name. So you got Laura Jill Miller, and then you got Julianne Dean. So it's like it
Oh,
kind of
right.
gets
Yes.
frazzled in my
Yeah.
head. Yeah. So okay, I can't resist asking what. Of course, you've known Lynn Kleckner for a good few
Yes.
years. So when did you first meet exactly?
We met, but it must have been the early 90s. I think Lynn was still at school.
That was probably
Um,
when she did the voices for the Rosie board.
yeah, I think it was.
That
Yeah.
was the
And
late early. Yeah.
I met Julianne Dean the same time. She was still at school or had just left. I mean, she was
Oh God!
yeah, they were very young. It was a long time ago. I have been doing this
Wow.
a very long time.
Oh my gosh. Because I did look at Lynn's IMDb, and like the earliest cartoon credit I can find for her is the UK dub of Franklin the turtle for Channel 5's Milkshake, and that was
Oh,
like
right.
late 90s. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
I'm
think
not
it
sure.
was earlier than that. I think I can't remember what we worked on to start with.
Hmm.
Was it Albert the Fifth Musketeer was one of the first ones I did.
It might have been.
And before, I think the very, very first one was The Gentleman of Titipu, which was a cartoon version of the Mikado. That's gone obscure as well. I don't think, oh, you might find that on YouTube actually.
I found it. The Gentleman of it
Titipu.
says it says 1973, unless that's just the original or
Oh, I think
something
that
like
must be
that.
the original, I think. It
That's,
wasn't 73.
uh, when would you say it was
I'd
exactly?
say early 90s, 91, 92, something like that.
Uh, I can only find one for stuff for the like the 73 version. I
Oh,
can't
no.
find it. Probably was a remake or something like that. But
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Oh, because they rewrote the songs. The studio where we recorded it rewrote the songs, and we got extra people in to sing the songs again. So it must have been a redoing.
yeah, and then for Albert the Fifth Musketeer, I can't find Lynn's name at all.
Oh,
But
perhaps.
yes, she did do a lot of stuff, and I know I'm
Yeah.
looking at your IMDb, and I don't. Am I wrong in thinking that you voiced in Max and Ruby?
Yes. Yeah. I
Oh, okay,
was
you were.
Roger, I think, whose lines were uh-huh, and that was it. Really.
Yeah, because
Uh-huh.
Lynn was in that,
Yes,
and
that's right.
yeah. So wow, what was it like to work with her like over the years and stuff? And now she's the social media manager for the British Lions
Lions.
rugby team.
Yeah, that's great. I've known her for years. She's a really lovely person. Really great, great. Well,
Wow, it'd be great
she
to
used to
speak to
live
her
just
one
around the
day.
corner from me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow,
She's got
that
this.
is
She had
just
this lovely, a big flat in just around the corner from me, and she was on the second floor, and she had a little balcony. And remember, one Saturday morning, I got a phone call from her saying, "I'm supposed to be coming around to you, but I've just been out on my balcony. The door is shut behind me, and now I'm stuck on the first floor balcony. I can't get out." So she was stuck outside on a freezing day in her pajamas.
oh no, poor
She
girl.
had to get her father around to let her get her back out of her
Oh
balcony.
bless her. Oh bless her. Yeah, she'd be really good to talk to. Well, it's also because I know I said about the Rosie board and stuff, but the ride I did the voiceover for, the coin operated ride, The
Mm.
Rosie Board kept going on into the Northern Leisure era, and they did rides up until the pandemic, where they kind of went into administration and
All right. Yeah.
shut down. That was the final ride they made, and they still use Lynn's voice as the announcement.
Oh,
So while
right.
she does the announcements when the ride's not in motion, like children using this ride should be supervised by parent or guardian. This ride accepts 10p, 20p, etc., etc. She does those, but I actually do the sound effects when the ride's in motion.
Oh, great.
So
It's a small
that's
world, isn't it? Yeah.
I know, yeah. After all, I was gonna say that's it'd be really cool to like, talk to her and just say because I just remember recording those lines. It wasn't in any professional studio, it was just in my room with
Oh.
Apple headphones. I just stood here and I was just going into the phone, Heli to tower, covering tower. It's just I just think about it now and I just think, wow, that actually happened. So actually, well, yeah, speaking of machines, of course, we've got to bring up the Tesco checkouts. Wow. So how did that happen? How did you get chosen? Did you audition? Were you picked?
that, that that was an agent from America wrote to me and said, "Would you like to audition for a speaking checkout?" And I said, "Yeah, okay, fine, why not?" So I did a quick demo, sent it off. A few weeks later, she wrote back and said, "Yes, you've got the job. Could you just record these 10 sentences?" So I said, "Yep, fine." Just recorded them once, sent them off. That was in September of one year. And I used to pop into Tesco's and see if it was on there. And every time I go to the checkout till, it was the female voice.
The
So I
woman,
thought,
yeah.
oh, they've obviously decided against it. And then the following July, I'm on holiday and listening to Radio 4, and there's a news item on there that there's a Twitter storm because Tesco have replaced the female voice with a male voice. And people are saying they shouldn't be doing this. There's a big Twitter storm about it. And I thought, I wonder who's got that then. So I went onto the website and it was me. And I was on holiday with my girlfriend in Pembrokeshire, and the phones just went mad. I spent the rest of the next couple of days being interviewed on the phone. And when I got home, they had the TV outside broadcast vans at my house. I was on telly, I was on the radio, all the newspapers were phoning up. It was a 10-minute job, just a 10-minute job. But the
Yeah.
publicity was just incredible. I've never had that much publicity of anything I've done ever.
Wow. And you had that job for about a good few years. I'm not sure how
Seven
they did replace.
years. 7 years it
7
was.
years. That must have been very recently. I was gonna say because I haven't been to Tesco myself in like weeks. So I don't know. I don't know really because I
I think,
I usually shop at Asda.
I think the
Yeah,
beginning of this year, the end of last year, they replaced it. It's somebody else, and now Tesco's are now putting a competition for any shopper to have a go at being the voice of the
I
till.
think they've already chosen. I
Have
think
they?
they have chosen this woman on TikTok. Yeah,
Oh,
and
right, because there was a big fuss with equity because they were saying it shouldn't be just a person; it should be a proper actor or something. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah. But the thing is, like, speaking of equity, like, I'm trying to get an agent, like, in America, also for US work,
All right.
voiceover work. But if I get a voiceover agent over here, would I have to join equity to like sort of do
I
union projects over here?
I don't
If
think
you
you
do.
do anymore. I don't. I've been a member since 1985. I think I was joined, but I don't. I'm not sure. I don't think you have to. It's a
Hmm.
very good. It's a good thing to do. I think joining the equity is they do fight for you and try to keep the rates up and things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They do the same with the SAG-AFTRA in America, but
Yes.
the
Yeah.
insurance thing's gone downhill a bit. They don't really cover medical costs anymore for like
All right.
illness and stuff. Yeah, there's been a whole storm about that. It's a very long story. Have you ever been to Tesco and you've been on the tills and it's your voice and you've ever had to like customer services come past you and you're talking and you're thinking, wait a
Worse.
minute, you
Worse than that. I was on holiday in Pembrokeshire, and I thought just after this happened, I thought I've never used one of these things. I'll give it a go. So I went up to the self checkout. I buy a few things, go up to the self checkout, put it through. Of course, I mess it up completely, and I'm saying to myself, the machine's saying to me, "Help is on the way. Help is on the way." And I go, "Yes, I know. Shut up. Shut up. Help is on the way." So the manager comes over and he presses the right buttons for me. Everything's fine. And I said to him, I'm afraid this is really embarrassing because that's my voice. And he gave me one of those looks as if to say, No, it isn't. No, you fantasist. Of course it isn't. It is. It's my voice. No, but it just went totally wrong.
Oh man, that must have been crazy for you. Oh
It
my
was.
gosh.
It was very weird telling myself that help is on the way. Shut up. Shut up. No help is on the way.
Yeah, because it's kind of embarrassing when you're in a shop and you're just standing there, and then it's like a big red lights on the the
Yes.
top of it, and
Yeah.
it's like well it's usually meant to be green, and then it just turns to red, and it's like assistance is on the way, a colleague is coming to help you, and I'm
That's it.
like, oh no.
Well, what was it when I go into a Tesco's and there'd be a whole row of checkouts, all saying the same, all my voice, but all saying different things. So someone would be saying, "Help is on the way. Thank you for shopping at Tesco's. Don't forget your change." All together.
Scan your club card.
Yeah, scan your club card. Yes.
You just sit. It feels like you're sitting in like an echoed room, and you're just
Yeah,
looking
it
forward
was
to
just
like,
in some
what's
sort of
going
weird dream, Ooh.
That's
I
so
won't.
crazy.
I won't miss not being in the voice of Tesco, but I'll miss the repeat fees, obviously. But
It was fun. It must have been
it
fun
was
for
fun.
you.
It was a good setup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. A really good run, I'd say.
Yes,
Definitely.
it's the
Uh,
longest voiceover I've done.
back to cartoons.
Yes.
As I was saying about the obscure stuff, I know it says here you did Superwife for Nick Jr., which is what
Yes.
I grew up with, but there's no footage of it online whatsoever.
Isn't there? Another one, yeah. I don't know what's happened to all these. I think it's because I'm in them. They just delete them from everywhere.
Oh no. I think like people just record the US dub more than the UK dub. Like people
Yeah.
don't think to record, well, they do think to record the UK dub, but also it's stored on like someone's Skybox or something,
Mm.
and they just don't get it uploaded, and it's just like, oh, it would be all right. It won't be lost. And then a few years later, yeah. And the Little People cartoon series, I don't remember that being on Nick Jr. I mainly remember that being on Cartoon Nito, I think.
I
Maybe.
can't remember. As I said, most of the things I've done, I've never seen. Just
Hmm.
so some of yeah, the other stuff. What else is there? Yeah, Fix and Foxy. I've never seen. Again, that was for the BBC. Never
Oh,
seen
is
any.
it?
Yeah.
I've never seen it as well. Was it like a kids cartoon, or was it like
Yes.
for
Yeah.
adults? Oh,
I think one of the
when
first
they
ones I did was Buzzy Bee as well. That was very, very sweet. That's disappeared off face of the earth, I think.
have a look at
The
Fix and
Adventures of
Foxy.
Buzzy Bee or Buzzy Bee and Friends, I think it was.
Uh, Fix it. Yeah, I've never heard. Oh, it's they're like no, I've never heard of
No, no,
Fix and
gone.
Foxy before. Nope. It's like I think it's because like it's before my time, and then there was just a few cases where some shows would enter reruns, circulation through reruns and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, Fix and Foxy might not have been one of them. I know like Miss Spider was. I don't think it was one of them because I had a DVD of it and it was on like a milkshake DVD that I had,
Oh,
Channel
right.
5
Yeah.
milkshake. So that's where I kind of knew it
Yeah.
from. Wow, Wubsy and Super Y were dinging reruns, and so was like all the Bubble Guppies and like Paw Patrol and stuff. Well, Paw Patrol, of course, it's still airing the old episodes alongside the new episodes. So you know,
Yeah. That's going to go on forever, I think, Paw Patrol.
oh yeah, gosh, they're gonna keep milking it until it's
Yeah.
dry, probably. Yeah, I mean, heck, I'm sorry to link it. Northern Leisure, they've done two Paw Patrol kiddie rides, so
Have
they've
they?
had the license, yeah, from Spin Master, Nickelodeon. You know, they used to get all the big licenses and stuff like that. So more stuff that you've done. What would you say like your favorite? This is probably going to be really hard for you to choose. What would you say the best thing that you've worked on is?
Paw Patrol, I think it has to be because it's so funny. It's really well. The pictures are incredible. The animation is superb, absolutely superb, and the stories are very good. There's some very funny lines in it. I think at the moment, yeah, it would have to be Paw Patrol. It's there have been some other ones, but some of them have been very good. I forget, but
10 seasons and counting. Can't go wrong. Yay.
yeah,
Wow, I don't know how it's managed to go that long because usually a lot of children's shows either go for 2 seasons or end at one with 13 episodes.
yeah. I mean, 3 is the absolute limit for a
Yeah.
kids program, and we're now on number 10. But I just it's just really caught people's imaginations. Kids are mad about it, aren't they? Absolutely
Yeah.
obsessed by it.
I mean, those Paw Patrol rides literally just spawned it out even more, and
Yeah.
they're just going and going and going. I'm not sure. I don't think they will. No, because MH Leisure, who have succeeded, Northern Leisure, are reproducing this helicopter because only 2 were made. I don't think they're reproducing any of the other rides. I mean, they made tons of they made over 500 Paw Patrol models. So
Blimey.
I think they'll just be circling up and down the country by different owners.
Because they're doing
So
live shows now as well.
are they?
Yeah. There's a
Oh
Paw
my
Patrol
gosh.
show there, and also Paw Patrol characters turn up in shopping centres and shopping malls,
Oh
just doing
yeah.
personal appearances. But there is a live Paw Patrol show.
Oh yeah, and that Nickelodeon land about the Pleasure Beach, they have Paw Patrol mascot characters. They have Marshall,
Mm.
Chase, and Sky. I've met Chase and Sky. I haven't met Marshall, but like it's like proper mascot costumes,
Yes,
like
yeah.
professionally
Terrific. Yeah.
made.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
So beautifully made. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I think it's Rainbow Productions who make them. They're known for doing a lot of licensed character
All
mascot
right.
costumes.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, they are known for
Because
that.
one of the girls who comes to my studio to record for me used to be Bob the Builder inside the skin of Bob the Builder,
Really?
all his appearances. And she said
Wow.
it's unbearably hot in those things.
I'm
She
presuming that
actually,
was. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
there was a fan fixed inside the head
Oh,
that
really?
just blew down on her just to keep her
Oh
cool.
my gosh, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
presume that was probably for Butlins because they did have a hit entertainment
Oh,
license for a
yeah,
while.
she did. Yeah, shows and personal appearances and shop openings and things. Bob the Builder would turn up and
Oh yeah,
Amy inside.
we're just having a shop opening. Who's our special guest? Bob the
Oh, let's
Builder.
get Bob the Builder. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done. Can we fix it? Mambo number 5. He's up at the chart. He beat. I mean, one Christmas he literally beat Westlife to the #1 spot. So
Yes.
that's probably the best guess you're probably gonna get. Oh, what else is there? I'm trying to think. Like, I know you've done Robocop Holy, for Nick
Yeah,
Jr.
yeah,
and
yeah,
Rusty Rivet. So these are like
yeah.
your more recent projects, should I say. So what was it like doing them? I mean, I hate to say it, but what's it like doing those sort of things compared to Paw Patrol? Like, I know because they're like Nick Jr. produced, but they're on like they're kind of similar to each other. I mean, Rusty Rivets is kind of like Paw Patrol, if like
Yeah, it's sort of something happens, they build a robot and it saves the day. It's I just it's just work, go in and do it. Keep smiling.
yeah. Yeah. Keep going. Intro, there's a problem. They build something. They fix the problem. They have a dance. Credits. That's
Yeah.
apparently. Well, someone said they did. Oh yeah, they tried to make it like Paw Patrol. I'm like, isn't it by the same creator? I'm pretty sure Rusty
I
Rivets
think
as
I can't remember the man's name who created Paw Patrol, but he's
Keith
created
Chapman.
that's it, yes. He's created loads of things, hasn't he? And
Yeah. I
he's a
mean, he did Bob the Builder, so
oh
yeah.
yes. He
Oh
must
no,
be
it
quite well off.
was. Yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't Keith Chapman who did Rusty Rivers. I think it was like it was Spin
Was
Master,
it?
but it was also like a Canadian production,
Oh, right.
like Viacom, sort of like that. Yeah, he did Keith Chapman, yeah, he's Bob the Builder, Rory the Racing Car, Thief in the Flower Tots, he's probably like, I mean, with Paw Patrol in its 10th season, he's probably sitting on so much money right now.
Just the merchandise must bring in a heck of
I
a lot because
know.
I went into a toy
Yeah.
shop in Cheltenham recently and they had a whole wall from the floor to the ceiling and about 15 feet across was all Paw Patrol merchandise. And they sell everything. There's musical instruments, there's clothes, there's backpacks, everything you can think of. It's
Do you ever voice any of the characters for the toys or like any
yeah,
like
I did Ted. They produced little toys of Ted.
Oh, did they?
But yes. So
Oh
of
wow.
course I had to go and buy one. And I've also voiced a few just general toys for children. The talking computers and things. The my computer, and I dropped subtle hints like, "Could you send me one?" And I still had to go and buy them because they don't. They don't. But that's quite fun. Seeing your voice inside a toy is good laugh. I used to go
Yeah.
to shops pressing the button on the front of Ted just so yes.
The question is, the toy set you have, does it still work to this day?
The batteries are flat. Otherwise, it's just over there. I could go and bring it over, but the batteries are gone.
Oh man. Oh well, he had a good one. Well, I mean, you could change them, but
Oh yeah, I've
you know,
changed them several times, but they still go.
yeah, it's just I mean, when did Lunar Jim air? Was like 15 years ago,
It's
something
got
like
to be
that.
something like that, yeah.
Crazy.
It was Ben Small played Lunar Jim, and he went on
Yeah.
to voice Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, he was the first. He was the
Yeah,
first CGI Thomas, and then it was John Hassler who took over from
that's
him.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my voiceover stuff kicking in there. Who else was in Lunar Jim? I can't remember. Who was?
Oh, Gina Marchese was the voice of the computer that spoke to them. That was
Oh, right.
Gina, who
Okay.
also used to do the voice of the Brit Awards, doing the
Oh, really?
nominated this week, this nominated in best film. And she used to do all those voiceovers. She's a lovely
Oh,
person
that's
as well,
so
Gina.
cool. Wow. I've had a look on the Wikipedia and they just say the Canadian voice cast. It doesn't say the British voice cast
No,
anywhere, which is
often
like,
we didn't even get a mention on the credits at the end, but it just depends if they had the
yeah.
budget for it. But
Yeah, they just leave them blank. Like
yeah,
they don't even bother to change the credits. I know they've done that for a lot of shows recently. I mean, the Pinocchio and Friends one, me and my friend couldn't figure out who voiced. Well, I think some voices were American, some voices were British, so it was kind of like a mix. But
right.
they mainly credited the American voice actors for that show, which
uh,
is
yeah, that's all right. Still,
thing. They need the credit they deserve, you know.
we know we
Just,
did it, so
oh.
that's
Yeah, well, there's people out there who just look at all these credits and they just think, oh yeah, we need to find out who voices this person or
yeah,
who does this person voice and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I know actually there is a topic that I've got to bring up. It's Tenpin Alley because I've noticed this place in a lot of credits of dubbed stuff. They have
Oh
done a
yeah,
lot of dubbing.
yes.
So have you been there before? What's it like? What have they, you
Oh
know?
well, it's not called Ten Pinelli anymore. It was originally. It was because, in fact, I'll tell you the story of how I started in voiceovers. I
Yeah,
used to
go
work
ahead.
for a radio station in Gloucester called Seven Sound, and that was based in an old pub, a very old pub. With so one side of the building where all the pub was were the studios and the newsroom and the advertising room and everything like that. So all the DJs were over there working there, and the other side of the courtyard of the old pub was a 10-pin bowling alley. And a bloke called Keith hired the 10-pin bowling alley off the Seven Sound radio to build his post-production studio. And that's why it's called 10-pin alley. So it's like a
Oh,
play on Tin Pan Alley for the music, but it was 10-pin alley for the bowling alley. And that's how it started. I used to pop in and see him as he was making the studio. And in those days, it was a sadium, reel to reel tape, those big tapes like that thick, big reels like this. So it was
oh
no
my gosh.
electronic stuff. It was put the reel on, put the tape on, running through the heads and onto another reel. So every time we had to do a take, the tape had to start, get up to speed, and then you do your take. So if you got it wrong, had to rewind back, get up to speed, and try again. It was painstaking. But I used to go and see this being made. And one day he said, "Do you want to? I've got this job come in for a cartoon. Do you want to audition for it?" I said, "Yeah, okay, fine." And eventually, after a few goes, I got the job, and it's gone from there. And
What
they've
was the cartoon?
I think that was the Gentleman of Titipu was the first one, and
Oh,
then
okay. Oh,
Albert the Fifth Musketeer was after that.
oh, wow. So where was Ten Alley? Where was it? Was
I
it
was
in
in Gloucester
Gloucester?
in
Was it in
a
Gloucester?
yeah, in a 10-pin bowling alley of an old pub called the pub was originally called the Talbot, I think it was, in Southgate Street in Gloucester. It's now the radio station's moved and gone. It's all the radio station's now moved to it's part of the Hart Group, I think. It's moved from the pub, and the pub is now apartments now. But
Oh
that's how it all
wow.
started. So
Wow.
Tenpin Alley went on to become about the third or fourth biggest post-production company in the country. They were
Wow.
prolific. And it's gone on, it's moved on, it's changed its name, and it's moved to formats and things, but they're still making dubbing cartoons.
That is so
So it was pure
cool.
luck that I got into it at all. I mean, I used to do commercials on the radio station, just voice commercials, but it was just because I happened to have go in and so in a nerdy way look at how this new studio is being produced and made, um,
Yeah.
and that's how it happened.
That is so cool. I always presumed it was in London for some reason. I think it's because like most studios I know that have
They
done
most
dubbing
are,
and stuff
yeah.
are located in
No,
London.
no, it's like
Yeah.
9 miles from my house, so it's
It's so cool, but
I
it's
know,
such convenient to travel.
yeah, almost walk it, but I don't.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've had a few issues with voiceover representation because a lot of them you actually have to live in London to be on
Yes,
their
yeah,
books.
yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I did go for one company and they said we have studios in London and Hampshire and you've got to be able to commute and usually we don't cover the costs of travel and stuff.
yeah.
So we recommend that you live in one of these two places. The thing is, there's no voiceover stuff in like the north of England, like
Well,
agencies in
Manchester, they've got
Manchester.
a massive Flicks in Manchester is
Have
in.
they?
Yeah, oh yeah, they're very, very big. They are the preferred supplier for cartoons for BBC,
Oh,
to voicing
really?
cartoons. Yes, in Media
Wow.
City. So I think.
Really? Oh my gosh. Wow, that's so cool. Because this isn't just for me. This is for, like all the other people in the northwest of England who are trying to get into voiceover
Oh
who
no, it's
can't commute to London like on like a or like monthly basis or
well,
anything
that's my
like that.
tip. I want 10% of your earnings. Now you've had my tip.
More than happy to pay it, of course. Yeah, just send me the PayPal and I'll just send all the cash over. What was it? I'm trying to think. There was a oh yeah, I'm having a goldfish moment. Like, where your head just goes,
Yep.
and you just gone blank. Oh yes, I've just remembered it now. I really need to start writing these down because not a lot of people know this, but I just come up with my questions on the spot. It
No, I
depends.
thought, don't you write it
Yeah.
down? I used to
Oh,
write my questions down. I was interviewing people on the radio. I always get it all written down because that horrible moment when it just dries up, doesn't it?
yeah, it's mainly because like when I'm writing the questions, I come to a blank. I'm like, what do I ask? But then like I go ahead and look at the roles and I have the roles listed down and then I just think of questions based on those and the surrounding areas and maybe the topics of voiceover. Which has just reminded me, American voice actors. Have you ever met any American voice actors before?
Well, only ones that work here. I know Tom Clark Hill, who's a great voice. He was Tony the Tiger on those. They're great.
Was
Kellogg's,
he?
yeah, that was Tom, and I know Eric Myers, who's a really nice bloke. Does loads of documentaries, rather, for the Smithsonian Channel and Discovery Channel. He does loads of. He's got a great voice, and he used to do loads of cartoons with me as well. But they both live in England now.
That's so
Tom actually
cool.
does He does classes on how to improve your cartoon voices. If you see
Really?
if you see classes with Tom Clark Hill, he's worth going to along to because he does the good
Wow.
stuff. He's got a
Well,
fantastic. He's got a Californian voice, American accent, and Eric's got a sort of New York voice.
yeah.
Funny thing, Eric and I were both auditioning for a cartoon series a few years ago, and there was two characters came up. There was an Irishman and a New York policeman. So Eric comes from New York. I come from Cheltenham. We auditioned for both of them. Eric got the Irishman. I got the New York policeman. Explain that.
What cartoon was that for?
I can't remember now. It's
How
was it
peculiar.
something basketball basket fever, I think it was.
Oh,
Another
wow.
cartoon that's disappeared completely.
It just wiped off the face of the earth, just
That
like,
was a Spanish translated into English, dubbed into English.
ah. Oh,
And
that's really
that was quite violent. Some of the stories in that were quite violent.
cool.
Yeah, but yeah, if you
That's curious. I might have to look it up now. Now I'm just
yeah.
having to look it up. Basket Fever cartoon. Oh yes, it is online.
Is
Well,
it?
it says yeah, they have episodes on YouTube.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep, indeed they have. Oh, so it's about basketball.
Yes,
That is so cool.
I was the ref in that.
Who talk like this all the time. Now, just a moment there.
That was it. That was the ref's
Ah,
voice.
that's so cool. Wow. And what else was that? It was Buzzy B you wanted me to look for, wasn't it?
Buzzy B and Friends. That was really sweet. That was for sort of much younger children.
Found it.
Have you?
Yeah. Well, I found a DVD of it.
Oh, right. Yes. In the
Yeah.
remainders bin, probably £2 in the sale.
I don't know. I don't know. Is this? I'm pretty sure this is it.
I think that's no different. No, don't. They've changed. No, that's not the same. Not the same design as me. I think it's the same title, but it's not the same artwork as we used.
Hmm.
But I think Buzzy Bee's an obvious name for a bee, isn't it? So there's probably several.
Yeah, obviously there's going to be like tons of people just
Yes.
using that name, and then you've just got so many iterations of the character, it just
Yeah.
gets annoying to keep track of them all. um, so is there any American VAs that you? Oh wait, I saw you can't like move your mouth. Were you going to say something?
No, no, no. I've
Oh
just
right,
made
okay.
my
Oh right. Sorry. So is there any American voice actors that you look up to, like some of the giants in voiceover, like
I
maybe
mean,
Frank Welker or
the
anything
ones
like that?
from The Simpsons, and another one I loved. He's no longer with us. Was Don, the one who did all the movie trailers. In a world, Don Love. What's it? I forgot his name. I'm terrible on names. Um, he's got a lovely Geico advert. If you put Geico advert
Yeah.
voiceover, have a look at it. It's Don LaFontaine, is it?
Yeah.
Everybody's shouting his name, but had a great voice.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. I thought you were gonna say like Don Messick or like I was like, yeah, he was a big voice actor and stuff like that. I'm having a look. Uh, oh right, okay, that's really cool. I've just had a look at his Wikipedia page. Yeah, he was like I have seen some of his trailers that he's done. Wow. What about cartoon VAs that you
I don't know. I know. I can't think of any, but I mean, they're all very good, aren't they? The Americans are
yeah.
very, very good.
I've met a lot of them, as you
Have
can
you?
probably tell. Yep. I go to
Yes.
Comic Cons and I see them all, and
Oh, right. Of course. Yes.
they're just very nice. Yeah, like Frank
The one
Welker's really
who used to do the
nice.
Batman voice was brilliant, wasn't he? I'm Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
Kevin
Yes.
Conroy. Yeah,
Yeah.
bless him. Oh man, I nearly had him on my show. I nearly had him. I
Did
nearly
you?
had him. Yeah. He was it was unavailable, and then and then he got sick with cancer, and then his agent said, "Oh yeah, he's going to be unavailable for those few months." And he was getting better, and then he took a turn for the
Um,
worse and passed away.
very sad.
So I know,
Yeah.
yeah, and especially like right in the middle of my Batman fast as well. Why,
Yes.
Kevin? Why did you have to go?
Why?
you know, yeah, like you could have had like a really fun episode, you know.
Yes.
Um, I'm trying to think. Like, is there any like impressions that you can do of like already existing characters by any chance?
No. I not existing ones. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to do impersonations of Scooby Doo and things like that. And there was a cartoon called Deputy Dog. I used to do them.
Deputy
Do
Dog,
you remember that?
yeah, yeah.
Used to do all those.
I know all these Hanna-Barbera stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what got me into voiceover.
Is
Hanna-Barbera
it?
shows, Disney afternoon shows,
Mm.
cartoons. Yeah. And the Jay Ward cartoons like Rocky and Bullwinkle and stuff were also an inspiration to me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You are a
Oh,
fount of knowledge. I mean, I'm so impressed with your knowledge. Blimey.
thank you, Andy. That's such an honor coming from you, honestly. Like a man who has voiced a lot of my favorite childhood characters and stuff like that. Oh, what good. Oh, it's me drawing a blank again. Yes, I know. It's that time. It's the time of the episode.
Anything else?
It was it was right there in my mind, and then it's just gone. Oh, it was about you doing Scooby Doo and stuff. Have you always wanted to be a voice actor?
Not really. I mean, I've always done voice. I remember when I was a kid watching American TV programs, I used to do the a QM production. At the end, there always used to be that a big American voiceover going, a QM production, a
Oh
Quinn Martin
yeah,
production. Remember that? I used to copy that
yeah.
when I was a kid. But I've drifted into it. I got where I am today by just saying yes to anything anybody offers me. I think I go, yeah, I can do that. Because I mean, it wasn't my idea to audition for a cartoon. Wouldn't have dreamt of it. But Keith said to me, would you like to audition? Yeah, okay. And here I am.
Yeah, PAW Patrol's in its 10th season. You're going as Captain Turbot, you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say because I did bring up last night to one of my best friends who lives in Ireland, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm speaking to Andy Turvey tomorrow." And she's like, "Isn't
Who?
that the guy? Isn't that the guy who voiced Captain Turbot in the UK PAW Patrol?" I'm like, "Yes, that's what she knows you from." Like,
Yes.
I was like, "Yeah, and a lot of other stuff as well." Like, maybe some stuff I probably don't even remember. Like, they name one role, and then I'm like, I can name 10 more that he's done. Andy, oh my gosh, thank you so much for talking to me for my show. It's been wonderful to talk to you. Is it frozen?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you froze. I thought you froze then because like everything went still, and I was like, is my computer playing up or something? Because that has happened a few times, and I'm like, oh no, let's just got to think this on Zoom.
Do you want to
Where
again?
can we?
I'll reply. Sorry, I should have replied.
No,
shouldn't I?
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Where can we find you on the internet? Have you got any social media? Have you got a website? Is there anything you'd like to promote at all?
Well, my website is andyturvey.co.uk. I'm on Instagram, and I can't remember what my handle is, but and I'm on Twitter. It's male voiceover on Twitter, male underscore voiceover. But
Yeah.
I don't use Twitter a lot, but
yeah, because I did it. Yeah, that's where I first found you and stuff.
oh, and also I've got a little YouTube channel, Andy Turvey, which I put up. I do a lot of cartoons for the Times Online, for the Times newspaper, the political cartoons, and I put those up on my little YouTube channel, and a few other things I've done, like TV adverts for Neil Diamond's concert tour and Justin Timberlake's concert tour. I put those little commercials that I've done up there.
Sweet. Well, I'll get everything linked in the description. And with that, to everyone at home, thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF. Stay safe, stay happy, be kind to others than yourself. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you around. Bye. And cut.